Jimmy here with Progressive Performance, and today we're going over a hip mobility warm-up that you can do before a lower body workout, especially for those of you that sumo squat or have some hip tightness during squats or lunges. All right, here we have Jamie demonstrating our hip flexor stretch. What she's gonna do is get in a half kneeling position, grab a PVC pipe, push it into the floor, and squeeze down on that PVC pipe. She's also gonna squeeze that back butt cheek of the leg that is kneeling on the ground. She's gonna hold tension for about 3 seconds, then release that tension and push forward, hold that position for about 10 seconds, then re-tighten, squeeze, push, and then release forward into that stretch again. Another stretch we can do to warm up the hips for a lower body workout is the half pigeon stretch from yoga. And what you're gonna do is Jamie's gonna take her leg forward and go ahead and get into that position. So you're cutting that leg across, you're gonna sit onto that side. You should feel a nice stretch in that hip of that forward leg side. To make this stretch a little more intense, you can reach that back leg backward, and you can also bring your elbows down to the floor. If this stretch is too intense for you, we also have another exercise, a modification that you can use that will get the same result for those of you that don't have very flexible hips, and we'll show you that now. So here is our modification of our half pigeon stretch. Some people, it's too intense for them to do the half pigeon stretch starting, so we have to start with something a little bit easier on the hips. You wanna make sure you start with something easier first and then move on to the more complex exercises so you don't hurt yourself, okay? So we call this the sit like a guy stretch, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your one ankle and put it up onto your knee. You're gonna let that knee fall out to the side, and you're gonna make sure you keep your posture nice and tall. You're gonna also make sure that your bottom foot is positioned properly. A couple of faults with this exercise are your bottom foot being back too far, your bottom foot being cocked inward, or your torso leaning forward and rounding, okay? You can lean your torso forward as long as your torso is upright, and that will make that stretch just a little bit harder. So here is a special stretch or warm-up for those of you that want to sumo deadlift. A lot of athletes have problems with the sumo deadlift, and this will help you get into that position very easily. This will also help you if you have really tight adductors and a lack of hip internal rotation. So what Jamie's gonna do is she's gonna go ahead and get into position. Quadruped position with your legs spread. You're gonna want some sort of pad under your knees because this can be uncomfortable if you're on a hard surface. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna make sure that your back is nice and flat. You don't wanna hyperextend your lumbar spine because this defeats the purpose of this exercise, okay? What you're gonna do is you're going to lean forward into this stretch, and then you're going to lift one foot up, internally rotating that hip, and then drop that foot back down. And then the other side, and drop that foot back down. You're gonna do this over and over, rocking your hips back and forth as you do this exercise to get a nice stretch through your adductors and really get some strength in that ability to internally rotate the hip. This really helps get those hips opened up so you can have more range of motion and do more things in your lower body workouts. All right, so that was our lower body warm-up for those of you that have some tight hips. This really helps powerlifters that are trying to learn how to sumo deadlift and really get into that position. This also is gonna help people with a little bit of hip pain in their lower body workouts. So go ahead and give this a shot and let us know how it goes for you. If you have any questions about getting your hips a little more mobile, feel free to ask us in the comments below or email us info@progressiveperformance.com.
Bye.